people might dub this particular segment, Nothing to See Here, Keir. Oh yes, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you, chums. Thank you so much for your time, and as ever, welcome one and all brand new subscribers. By the way, can I just share this little nugget that I found out the other day? I know that, people say, Neil, get to the story, but I like to share things that I find out with you. And it's interesting this, because when you meet a friend for a drink and you're just sitting there outside a pub, and many of you know that, I like to film outside some of these more traditional English pubs because they've got nice backgrounds and settings and stuff like that. What's interesting is you get a bag of crisps, right, chums? And I thought, wow, these crisps were really, really salty, right? And the colleague of mine had salt and vinegar. I had roast chicken, but flavoursome, brilliant. When you buy them from the shop, the same brand, have you noticed they're not the same? Honestly, just not the same flavour. Talking to an expert who works in that particular industry, they said to me, oh, no. The reason why, Neil, is this. They keep the same flavour that you remember when you're in the bars. So they put more salt in the ones in the bars and the pubs and the restaurants so that you'll buy more drinks, preferably because that company also owns a drinks line. And then you, when they go to the supermarket, will buy some of that brand. It doesn't matter that they're not the same flavour, you just put it down to the fact that, oh right, you try it, trust me, I'd love to know what you think. Just get some. It's not just that, it's all sorts of things like the snacks, the pork cracklings, all that sort of stuff. They're literally duping you into buying lesser flavoured some food. Meanwhile, in the pub, when they want you to spend more money, even just another Coca-Cola, whack on the salt, whack on the flavour, you'll buy. Yeah, you see what I mean? Let's get back to your story of the day. Interesting this, because as we know, just under a year ago now, just over, should I say, a year ago now, there were so many celebrities that wanted to back this vote for change. And we had a wave, nice to see you. And it was and the thing is, it was interesting this because many people have now been truly burnt by this. But the celebrities, this is fascinating about this, the likes of Elton John and his husband, partner, whatever, David Furnish, Carol Vorderman, right, everybody was pushing to vote for change. John Richardson, Sally Lindsay, who's now back with her Madame Blanc Mysteries, another one, hard pushing. The singer Beverly Turner, the actor James Norton from Happy Valley and Grantchester and stuff like that, who was a bit of a surprise. They couldn't wait to align themselves to this man, which of course has turned out to be the most unpopular British Prime Minister in living polling history. Now, if you're a celebrity, you've got to be some kind of stupid, right? Because if you think I'm going to attach myself to somebody that is so unpopular, but it's great because they're going to bring change. Not only was Keir Starmer bad for celebrity, it was also bad for the careers of certain people and channels like Sky News. Don't forget that Kay Bailey was delighted when he got through and let out a strange noise on air, if you remember, alongside this woman who apparently shed tears, and she's now a Times radio presenter. You know what I mean? They're all at it. Interestingly though, now none of them want to be asked any questions about Keir Starmer in any interviews. Oh yes, right, Elton, when you're pushing the album, the musical, whatever, even though you were happy to play at their party on the night that they won and people were just absolutely delighted, nobody wants to be associated. A planned party at Downing Street to invite all the celebrities that had helped support the current government, the ones the aforementioned that I've just brought to your attention, had to be scrapped because either they were unavailable, working, partying, or simply didn't respond. Now, if this isn't a telltale sign as to how bad this current government is, I really don't know what is. But don't fall for it, chums, because these were the people that basically said, you're going to vote for change, it's going to be better, we're going to have a better life. We're seeing employment rising, we're seeing everything falling apart, mass migration, and a worse life than we've had in many years. Forget the 14 years of the previous government, they were no angels either, right? But nobody could have foreseen just how bad this current government was. But for celebrities, the money carries on, it rolls in. But even they now want to distance themselves. So there was no party for that first year in Downing Street for Sir Keir. That must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Oh really, didn't he care? He doesn't seem to care about much else either, does he? Neil Shaw, Kensington, London.